Previously on The Way We Did It, we took the Lance to Granby, Colorado for a successful 7-day experiment of living and working out of our truck camper. We are now heading to Colorado Springs, where we explore an abandoned mining camp, fished gold medal waters, and made an adorable new friend. Colorado Springs is roughly 2 hours south of our home in Boulder. Other than visiting Garden of the Gods and driving to the 14,000-foot summit of Pike's Peak, we haven't spent much time in this area. So we were excited to have the entire weekend to explore. We left after work on Friday and arrived to Pike's Peak being illuminated by the sunset. Since we were both pretty tired from the week, we quickly set up camp, had breakfast for dinner, and settled in for the night. Now, let's check out the campground. We were staying at the Garden of the Gods RV Resort. We booked a standard back-end site with full hookups, which were oddly located in the back left corner of the site. The campground was full of trees and had Pike's Peak as its backdrop. Every RV site had a cement patio with a picnic table. There were a handful of tent sites in the center of the property, along with small cabins, 2 swimming pools, and have partnered with the Bee Haven Project to save the honeybees. A few more things worth noting. Their Wi-Fi was terrific. We barely used our Netgear hotspot. It is located next to a busy road. However, the trade-off is you're only 10 minutes from downtown, and you can ride a bike to the Garden of the Gods. And one more little detail. Depending on which way the wind is blowing, there may be a faint smell of manure, which we discovered was coming from the horse stables down the road. The plan for our first day was to learn more about the mining history of Colorado Springs, so we were going to where it all began on the western slope of Pike's Peak. We've always loved the unique landscape of this area, with its red rock walls and towering formations in the distance. Even the local grocery store was like a scenic overlook. Before venturing into the mountains, we drove through downtown in search of gas. Since our new truck is a flex fuel vehicle, Dave wanted to try filling it up with ethanol. Now we have read that it can lower gas mileage, but since it was a good bit cheaper than gasoline, it was too tempting not to try it out and see for ourselves. Stay tuned for an update later in the video. Mining had an immense influence on Colorado Springs. The Pike's Peak Gold Rush was one of the richest gold strikes in American history, and Colorado Springs quickly became the center of it all. Mining exchange businesses were established downtown, along with the first company to allow the buying and selling of mining stocks. By the turn of the 19th century, Colorado Springs was called the City of Millionaires. We were visiting 2 towns where gold was discovered, Cripple Creek and Victor. Cripple Creek was the world's second richest gold camp, bringing in $20 million a year. And gold is still being mined there today. We arrived to our first stop of the day, the Vindicator Valley Trailhead. It's a 2-mile interpretive trail through abandoned mines, remnants of mining camps, and other ghost town structures frozen in time from over 100 years ago. Our next stop was the city of Victor. Its economy gradually declined in the 20th century as the miners enlisted in World War I. We were surprised to see how incredibly well preserved its downtown was. The stunning architecture and vintage signs transported us back in time. As we continued down the road, it's hard to miss the active gold mine in the area. It's now the only remaining significant producer of gold in the state of Colorado. The town of Cripple Creek was a little different than Victor. Although still rich in history, it's now a popular spot to strike gold at one of its 9 casinos. Feeling like official history buffs, we made our way back to camp, made dinner, and settled in for the night. The plan for our last day was a little more relaxed. We were heading back into the mountains, but this time to go fishing, which someone was super excited about. Dave had a few locations he wanted to check out. The first was 11 Mile Canyon. It's a scenic, recreational area surrounding the South Platte River and the steep rock outcroppings it flows through. It didn't take long for Dave and I to realize that we may have underestimated the park's popularity. Even though we arrived early in the morning, all of the ideal fishing spots were already taken. And on top of that, a lot of the parking spaces weren't exactly conducive to our truck camper. Then we came up on this. After this tight squeeze, we turned around shortly after as the road continued to get more narrow up ahead, and then found a nice and very spacious spot to stop for lunch before moving on. We continued west to another location Dave had in mind, which, judging by the condition of the road, seemed like it was a little more secluded. At this point, we have been driving around all weekend on ethanol fuel. We didn't really notice a significant change in gas mileage or power in our vehicle, so we may continue to experiment with it on future trips. But if anyone watching has any advice or more experience using ethanol, leave us a comment below. As we passed 11 Miles State Park, the landscape suddenly opened up to this vast pocket of high alpine meadow nestled in the mountains. We arrived to another section of the South Platte River, which I'm pretty sure Dave picked out because of its name. You ready to fish the dream stream? It looks mighty fishy. It is indeed called the Dream Stream. It's designated as gold medal waters and is known for its trophy-sized brown and rainbow trout. Dave did manage to get a few bites, but as the bugs came out and rain was rolling in, we decided to pack it up and leave the dream stream. Did you fish the dream stream?
It's a dream come true.
Although I know Dave would have loved to catch a fish, we still enjoyed our time and absolutely love that special places like this are within driving distance from our home. Just when we thought our day was over, we saw a donkey. Let me explain. When we were learning about the mining history of Colorado Springs, we read about a wild pack of donkeys living in this area who are supposedly descendants of the ones used by the miners. So we drove around to see if we could find the rest. And sure enough, we did. There was one in particular that we really bonded with. This sweet donkey was perfectly content with just hanging out, relishing in all the attention and back scratches. And we adored every moment of it. It made it really hard for us to leave our new friend. And apparently the feeling was mutual. This trip really showed us that you don't have to go far to have a great adventure. And we'll definitely be back because Dave has some unfinished business with the Dream Stream. Next time on The Way We Did It, we are going to Laramie, Wyoming, to drive the Snowy Range Scenic Byway in the Medicine Bow National Forest. If you'd like to join us on more adventures, be sure to like this video and click that subscribe button. Or, for extra perks like your name in the end credits and travel guides to places in our videos, consider supporting us on Patreon so we can continue to show you the way we did it.